Is it possible that ancient Egyptian priests, through their sacred temple rituals and the enigmatic Blue Lotus, accessed pathways to the divine that remain largely unexplored today? Could these rituals have been more than symbolic gestures, serving as a form of psychological technology lost to time but ripe for rediscovery? If these sacred rituals could be reconstructed, what untapped potential within us might be unlocked? Understanding the use of Blue Lotus isn't merely an academic exercise. It's a quest to unlock ancient wisdom that could profoundly enhance modern spiritual practices. By reevaluating our conventional understanding of ancient rituals, we might discover tools to transform our own lives, fostering a spiritual renaissance where ancient knowledge meets modern self-discovery, offering insights that until now have been obscured. Are we on the verge of reclaiming a forgotten legacy? Our journey begins with the premise that Blue Lotus was far more than a decorative or symbolic element in ancient Egyptian rituals. It was a key, strategically employed to induce altered states of consciousness, enabling priests to connect with what they perceived as the divine. The neurochemical properties of Blue Lotus, with compounds like apomorphine and nuciferine, may have played a crucial role in manipulating their mental states. This was not a random practice, but a deliberate and skillful use of the flower, suggesting an advanced understanding of its effects on the human mind. It is essential to remember that Egyptian priests and temples were at the center of this practice. They acted as gatekeepers of esoteric knowledge, and the temples themselves were sacred spaces meticulously designed for spiritual transformation, places where consciousness itself could be altered. Is it possible they held knowledge about the mind that is not available in the modern world? To fully appreciate the significance of Blue Lotus, we need to delve into its historical context. The plant was cultivated extensively in ancient Egypt, and it was used for medicinal, ceremonial, and decorative purposes. Its symbolic representation in art and iconography, particularly its association with the sun god Ra and rebirth, is undeniable. This imagery offers some clues to its real use. But what specific purpose did Blue Lotus serve in temple rituals beyond simple symbolism? Was it used to induce specific visions, to enhance intuition, or to facilitate communication with deities? There was a hidden process or technique involved in its use that remains elusive, and we'll seek to explain it. Ancient priests possessed a secret understanding of how to harness the flower's power, a knowledge that has been obscured by time. As we peel back the layers of history and symbolism, we might find ourselves closer to unlocking the transformative potential that Blue Lotus held for the ancient Egyptians, and perhaps for ourselves. We will soon discuss how the opening of the flower may mirror the opening of the mind, and how the plant's relation to the sun god Ra may be related to the godlike mental states they seem to channel. Beyond its spiritual importance, Blue Lotus permeated numerous facets of ancient Egyptian life. It was not merely confined to temple rituals. Consider elaborate feasts, where depictions show guests adorned with blue lotus blossoms woven into their hair and around their necks. This integration of the flower into social gatherings suggests a blurring of the lines between the sacred and the everyday, implying that the very act of communal celebration could be elevated through its presence. Furthermore, ancient texts reveal Blue Lotus's presence in medicinal recipes. Remedies for various ailments, from headaches to digestive issues, incorporated the flower, showcasing its role in their holistic approach to health. The extent of its use indicates a deep cultural integration, far surpassing what modern observers might assume. The symbolism of Blue Lotus extends into the very heart of Egyptian cosmology, closely interwoven with powerful deities and creation myths. Its association with rebirth stems from its unique blooming cycle. Each night, it closes and submerges, only to re-emerge and bloom again with the dawn. This daily resurrection mirrors the journey of the sun god Ra, who is believed to travel through the underworld each night, only to be reborn each morning, bringing light back to the world. As such, the flower became a potent symbol of transformation and the cyclical nature of existence. Consider Nefertum, the god often depicted as a beautiful youth emerging from a blue lotus. This imagery powerfully conveys the idea of potential unfolding, of beauty and divinity arising from the depths, directly linking the flower to themes of renewal and spiritual awakening. Could the daily opening and closing of the blue lotus have represented something deeper, a metaphor for the opening of the mind to higher states of consciousness and the cyclical journey of the soul through life, death, and rebirth? While modern understanding often relegates ancient Egyptian society and spirituality to the realm of primitive belief, a closer examination reveals a far more sophisticated system of knowledge. Their holistic approach to medicine is especially illuminating. The Egyptians did not compartmentalize physical and mental health as distinctly as modern medicine often does. Instead, they viewed the two as intricately connected, recognizing that mental and emotional states could profoundly impact physical well-being, and vice versa. Treatments often incorporated elements designed to address both aspects, suggesting an awareness of the mind-body connection that modern science is only now beginning to fully appreciate. Dismissing their rituals as mere superstition overlooks the potential for a deeper understanding of psychology and consciousness. Their practices were more accurately described as an early form of psychological technology, carefully designed to manipulate the senses, emotions, and cognitive processes to achieve specific outcomes. Were these rituals deliberately constructed to alter consciousness? Delving into the neurochemical properties of blue lotus unveils tantalizing clues about its effects on the brain and nervous system. The flower contains several active compounds, most notably apomorphine and nuciferine. Apomorphine, while sharing a name with morphine, functions very differently. It acts as a dopamine agonist, meaning it binds to dopamine receptors in the brain, potentially triggering feelings of euphoria, altered perception, and enhanced sensory awareness. Nuciferine, conversely, may act as an antispasmodic and muscle relaxant, potentially contributing to a relaxed state of mind and reducing anxiety. These mechanisms of action provide a scientific basis for understanding the flower's reported psychoactive properties. Could the effects of apomorphine explain the vivid visions and altered states of consciousness experienced during rituals? It is reasonable to suggest a connection between these neurochemical effects and the reported spiritual and psychological effects of blue lotus. The anxiolytic properties of nuciferine, for instance, may have been particularly valuable in reducing mental noise and facilitating deeper states of meditation. By calming the nervous system and quieting the constant stream of thoughts, the flower may have helped individuals to access a more receptive state of mind. The dream-enhancing properties of apomorphine, on the other hand, could have facilitated vivid visions and insights, potentially providing a symbolic language through which the subconscious mind could communicate. These compounds may have synergistically unlocked doors to perception, otherwise closed to the ordinary waking mind. If so, what role could these properties have played in the ritual and meditative experiences of the ancient Egyptians? We must consider the concept of psychoactive synergy. The true power of blue lotus may not lie in any single compound, but rather in the complex interplay of its various components. The combined effect may be far greater than the sum of its individual parts. This intricate synergy might explain why modern attempts to isolate and replicate the effects of blue lotus have often fallen short of the experiences described in historical accounts. Due to the intricate interplay of its components, the plant's full potential remains somewhat veiled. This synergy may have been deliberately understood and strategically utilized by the ancient priests. The complex recipe of the flower's psychoactive compounds may have been intentionally created to unlock unique states of consciousness. Was this knowledge guarded by the priests and used to create unique experiences during temple rituals? Egyptian temple rituals were not haphazard affairs, but carefully orchestrated events meticulously designed to induce specific mental and emotional states in participants. Every aspect, from the architecture of the temple to the specific sequence of actions, was intended to create a powerful and transformative experience. In this sense, the rituals can be viewed as a form of consciousness technology, utilizing sound, light, movement, and psychoactive substances to systematically alter awareness. The use of chanting, music, and incense created a specific atmosphere and affected the senses, lowering the threshold into a receptive mental space. Specific movements, postures, and breathing techniques may have been employed to manipulate energy flow within the body, further intensifying the experience and creating the conditions for altered states of consciousness to arise. The complexity and sophistication of these rituals hint at a deep understanding of the human mind and its potential for transformation. The integration of Blue Lotus into these rituals likely followed carefully prescribed methods and timings. Infused wine appears to have been a common method of ingestion. Blue Lotus-infused wine during specific ceremonies may have amplified sensory perception, heightened emotional states, and altered cognitive processes, creating a powerful cocktail for spiritual exploration. Blue Lotus was also utilized in incense, as the psychoactive atmosphere would further affect those who occupied a sacred space. This administration of the Blue Lotus plant at certain key moments suggests a deliberate strategy to enhance the ritual's effects and facilitate specific experiences. The external symbolism of the rituals, the costumes, gestures, and sacred objects, was not merely decorative, but also designed to trigger specific internal experiences. Each element served as a key to unlock a particular state of consciousness, working synergistically with the neurochemical effects of Blue Lotus to create a profound and transformative experience. Specific costumes, for instance, would create mental associations, and the use of sacred objects acted as anchors for focus and intention, directing the participants' attention and energy towards specific goals. The priests may have undergone rigorous training to associate these images with specific mental states. This creates a system in which exposure to these images during rituals could enhance the effects of Blue Lotus, creating a feedback loop that deepens the experience and accelerates the process of spiritual transformation. How deep does this integration of external stimulus and internal change go? Echoes of these practices resonate across diverse cultures, revealing a universal human quest for altered states of consciousness and spiritual insight. The Egyptian concept of the Ka, soul, for example, finds parallels in similar concepts across various cultures, such as the Atman in Hinduism, indicating a shared understanding of the soul's journey and its relationship to the divine. The use of Blue Lotus mirrors the use of other psychoactive plants in shamanic rituals, such as ayahuasca in South America, to induce altered states of consciousness, facilitate healing, and communicate with the spirit world. Could these distinct cultures have had a shared understanding of consciousness? The similarities in ritual structures and symbolic language across these different cultures suggest a common underlying understanding of the nature of consciousness and the methods for manipulating it. Common elements can be observed in ritual initiations, deaths, and rebirths across cultures. Shared symbols of light, darkness, and transformation also suggest that a deeper shared understanding exists. Perhaps this ancient practice was a widespread and ancient part of human spiritual exploration. Did this originate from a single source, or did the same conditions generate the same insights independently across multiple continents? One can theorize that the use of these substances may have been a key element in accessing similar mystical states across various cultures. This could point to a deeper, shared understanding of the nature of reality and the potential for humans to transcend the limitations of ordinary consciousness. Could the Blue Lotus and other similar plants serve as keys to unlocking universal spiritual truths, bridging the gap between disparate cultures and revealing a common path to enlightenment? we now move to integrate the ancient wisdom into our modern spiritual practices. Consider, then, specific documented examples of Egyptian rituals where Blue Lotus was not just present, but central. Wall paintings within tombs, such as those of Nebamun, vividly depict scenes of banquets and celebrations where guests are adorned with blue lotus blossoms. These aren't mere decorative touches. The sheer prevalence of the flower suggests its intrinsic link to the intended atmosphere of the event. Now, imagine an opening of the senses ritual. Initiates, having ingested blue lotus-infused wine, would likely experience a heightened sensitivity to light, sound, and touch. Ancient texts speak of vivid imagery and encounters with deities during such ceremonies. The priests, fully aware of the plant's neurochemical effects, likely used it to unlock deeper states of perception. Modern skepticism often dismisses these experiences as mere fantasy or hallucination, but the ancient Egyptians viewed them as genuine pathways to spiritual insight. The exterior actions of the ritual, such as chanting and specific movements, were meticulously designed to synchronize with the interior experiences induced by the blue lotus, creating a powerful resonance within the initiate. Imagine a priest ingesting blue lotus before entering a darkened chamber, seeking a vision of Thoth, the god of wisdom and knowledge. The altered state of consciousness induced by the flower could dissolve the boundaries of ordinary perception. The priest may have sought the ability to perceive subtle energies, perhaps what modern esotericists would call the auric field, believing it to be a gateway to understanding the divine blueprint of the universe. This perception might have translated to a direct visual encounter with Thoth himself, not as a literal physical being, but as a manifestation of divine intelligence within the priest's own mind. These experiences weren't merely personal. They were carefully interpreted and integrated into the broader spiritual framework, solidifying the connection between the mundane world and the divine realm, not just for the priest, but for the entire community. Further, these rituals weren't always for the priest's personal enlightenment. Often, they were undertaken on behalf of the community to ensure prosperity and protection, or even on behalf of the pharaoh, to guarantee his continued reign and divine favor. The intricate temple rituals of ancient Egypt served a purpose far beyond mere spiritual exploration. They played a crucial role in maintaining social order, legitimizing the pharaoh's rule, and preserving esoteric knowledge within the priestly class. Successful rituals, perceived by the populace as having tangible results, abundant harvests, victory in battle, or protection from disease, would significantly strengthen the priest's social standing and consolidate their power. Access to Blue Lotus and the knowledge of how to use it effectively was likely a closely guarded secret, further enhancing the priest's exclusive position within society. Consider a ritual designed to affirm the pharaoh's divine right to rule. By inducing altered states of consciousness, in which the pharaoh was seen to commune directly with the gods, the priests could reinforce his legitimacy in the eyes of the people, thereby ensuring political stability. But what if a priest were to manipulate these rituals for personal gain, seeking to usurp the pharaoh's power or exploit the plant's effects for selfish purposes? Such actions could have had severe consequences, ranging from social ostracism to execution, highlighting the immense stakes involved in controlling access to this powerful knowledge and sacred plant. Now, let's bridge this ancient wisdom with modern scientific understanding. While ancient Egyptians may not have possessed the sophisticated scientific tools we have today, their observations and experiences with Blue Lotus have intriguing parallels with contemporary research. Modern studies are beginning to validate some of the potential therapeutic benefits attributed to Blue Lotus in ancient times. Research into apomorphine and nuciferine, the plant's active compounds, has revealed their potential for anxiety reduction, cognitive enhancement, and even as treatments for certain neurological disorders. This research lends credence to the ancient claims of Blue Lotus as a medicinal plant, suggesting that the Egyptians were not simply relying on superstition, but had a practical understanding of its effects on the body and mind. Furthermore, modern research into the placebo effect demonstrates the profound influence of belief systems on physiological responses. The priest's expectations and those of the participants in the rituals likely played a significant role in shaping the experiences they had, creating a powerful feedback loop that amplified the effects of Blue Lotus. Consider how the focused attention cultivated by Egyptian priests relates to modern mindfulness techniques. While we may not fully replicate ancient Egyptian rituals in modern settings, we can draw parallels and adapt their underlying principles. Egyptian priests cultivated mindfulness through sustained attention to ritual actions, breath control, and sensory awareness, all of which are core components of modern mindfulness practices. The priests carefully observed their thoughts and emotions, seeking to achieve a state of mental clarity and focused intention. Today, we have various methods for achieving similar mental states. Consider basic breathing exercises used in modern meditation, such as diaphragmatic breathing, which promotes relaxation and reduces stress. It is conceivable that similar breathing techniques were employed in Egyptian rituals to prepare participants for altered states of consciousness and enhance their receptivity to spiritual insights. By understanding the principles behind these ancient rituals, we can adapt and incorporate them into our own meditation practices, potentially unlocking deeper states of awareness and enhancing our spiritual growth. Building upon this, consider the strategic use of Blue Lotus to heighten sensory experiences during rituals. Was it simply a matter of inducing pleasant sensations, or did this amplification serve a more profound purpose? By opening initiates to perceive subtler realms, these altered states potentially amplified the psychological impact of the ceremonies. Imagine the scent of sacred incense, already potent, intensified tenfold, or the vibrant colors of temple murals seeming to pulse with life. The Egyptians understood that perception shapes reality, and Blue Lotus could have served as a key to unlocking doors of sensory awareness, providing pathways to glimpse into different dimensions. Could the subtle fragrance of lotus have been used as a trigger to unlock doors to the subconscious? Delving deeper, we find that the specific effects of Blue Lotus on perception may have been carefully exploited. Heightened color sensitivity could have transformed temple art into living mandalas, where each hue resonated with symbolic meaning. Amplified sounds, from chanting to musical instruments, could have induced trance-like states, synchronizing the brainwaves of participants and facilitating a collective experience of the divine. An altered sense of time, a common effect of psychoactive substances, could have dissolved the boundaries between past, present, and future, allowing initiates to access ancient wisdom or glimpse potential timelines. Consider the experience of synesthesia, where senses blur and sounds might be perceived as colors or textures might evoke musical notes. If the plant could induce such a state, the rituals would have transformed into a multisensory symphony, an orchestrated experience that directly bypassed the rational mind and imprinted itself upon the soul. The external symbolism versus internal experience pattern becomes increasingly relevant here. The scent of incense wasn't just a pleasant aroma. It was a carefully chosen fragrance designed to evoke specific emotions and memories, amplified by the effects of Blue Lotus. The sound of chanting wasn't just a religious practice, it was a sonic key to unlocking altered states of consciousness, its vibrations resonating deep within the body and mind. Through the strategic manipulation of sensory input, the rituals transformed into a form of psychological technology, directly influencing the inner landscape of the participants. However, the plant's effects were not universal. The mindset of the adepts undergoing these rituals played a crucial role in shaping their experiences. It wasn't simply about ingesting the plant. It was about the spiritual preparation, the disciplined mind, and the cultivated intention. These factors combined to create a synergistic effect, enhancing the plant's influence and guiding the initiate toward profound insights. A specifically trained spiritual guide may have had a vastly different experience compared to someone untrained. What if years of meditative practice allowed adepts to navigate the altered states with greater clarity and control, while the uninitiated might have found themselves lost in a chaotic sea of sensory impressions? Consider the rigorous training regimen of spiritual guides, including meditation, fasting, and symbolic dream interpretation. These practices primed their minds for the potential of profound experiences. Meditation cultivated focus and inner stillness, allowing them to observe their thoughts and emotions with detachment. Fasting heightened their sensitivity and purified their bodies, making them more receptive to subtle energies. Symbolic dream interpretation unlocked the language of the subconscious, providing a map for navigating the inner world. Without such preparation, the plant's effects might have been overwhelming, leading to confusion, disorientation, or even negative experiences. This raises the stakes significantly. Those without proper training might not experience the flower's full capabilities and could even have negative experiences. Moreover, sound, light, and vibration may have been employed strategically to amplify the effects of Blue Lotus, creating a synergistic effect that further heightened sensory experiences and altered states of consciousness. Imagine the darkened temple illuminated by flickering candlelight, casting dancing shadows on the walls. The rhythmic chanting of mantras, combined with the beat of drums, vibrating through the very foundations of the temple. The ancient Egyptians understood the power of resonance. They created environments designed to harmonize with the natural rhythms of the body and mind. Specific musical intervals and frequencies may have been utilized in temple rituals, potentially synchronizing brain waves and promoting altered states. Perhaps specific crystal structures were incorporated into the architecture, creating harmonic resonance that further amplified the energetic field. How might the careful use of light have amplified the effects of Blue Lotus? Imagine shafts of sunlight streaming through strategically placed openings in the temple roof, illuminating sacred images or bathing initiates in golden rays. Color, too, could have played a vital role, with specific hues chosen to evoke particular emotions or stimulate certain chakras. The science of cymatics reveals how sound vibrations can create intricate geometric patterns in water or sand. Now envision these patterns manifesting within the human body, influencing cellular structure and promoting healing or transformation. These elements, combined with the neurochemical effects of Blue Lotus, could have created a powerful cocktail for altering consciousness. Given this understanding, how do we deconstruct modern skepticism regarding the ability of psychoactive substances to induce genuine spiritual experiences? Why are altered states often dismissed or pathologized in Western society, viewed as deviations from normal consciousness rather than potential pathways to insight? We are often taught to value rationality above all else, dismissing anything that cannot be empirically proven as mere illusion or delusion. Yet, throughout history and across cultures, psychoactive substances have been used for spiritual purposes. From the peyote ceremonies of Native American tribes to the ayahuasca rituals of the Amazonian rainforest, these practices demonstrate the potential of altered states to provide access to mystical experiences and profound personal transformation. Instead of dismissing these experiences, consider exploring the possibility that they offer a glimpse into a deeper reality, a realm beyond the limitations of our ordinary perception. Perhaps rationality is not the only valid way of knowing. Perhaps there are other forms of intelligence, other ways of accessing truth. Challenging our own assumptions about reality is the first step towards understanding the potential of ancient practices like those involving Blue Lotus. This brings us to the modern day, where researchers, scientists, and spiritual seekers are rediscovering the power of altered states and the potential of substances like Blue Lotus to enhance spiritual practice. Driven by a desire to understand the mysteries of consciousness, these modern priests are attempting to unlock the same abilities as their ancient counterparts, bridging the gap between ancient wisdom and modern science. Modern researchers are studying the effects of Blue Lotus on brainwave activity and altered states of consciousness. EEG studies have revealed that the plant can induce alpha and theta brainwave patterns associated with relaxation, meditation, and creativity. Neuroimaging studies are exploring how Blue Lotus affects blood flow and activity in different regions of the brain, providing insights into its potential mechanisms of action. Furthermore, spiritual practitioners are experimenting with Blue Lotus in their meditation practices, reporting positive experiences such as increased relaxation, enhanced visualization, and a deeper connection to their inner selves. These anecdotal reports, while not scientific evidence, provide valuable insights into the subjective effects of the plant and its potential for spiritual growth. Therefore, responsible and legal usage of Blue Lotus is paramount. It is a tool for spiritual exploration, not a recreational substance. Approach it with respect, intention, and a deep understanding of its potential effects. Before even considering its use, research and understand the plant. Start with small doses and gradually increase them as you become more familiar with its effects. Source Blue Lotus from reputable suppliers and verify its authenticity to ensure you are not consuming a contaminated or adulterated product. Be clear about your intentions. Are you seeking relaxation, enhanced creativity, or a deeper spiritual connection? Setting a clear intention can help guide your experience and maximize its benefits. Consider the ethical implications of using psychoactive substances. Are you using them in a way that respects yourself, others, and the plant itself? Be mindful of the potential for addiction or dependence and use Blue Lotus responsibly. Expanding on this, we can explore the plant's therapeutic promise by considering it as a tool for exploring the subconscious mind and unlocking hidden aspects of the self, connecting ancient ritual to modern psychological practices. Could it be that Blue Lotus aided the spiritual guides in unlocking repressed memories, emotions, and beliefs? In this way, repressed trauma could come to light, be processed, and integrated through therapy or self-reflection. Moreover, the plant may assist in dream work, potentially enhancing dream recall, vividness, and symbolic understanding. By gently altering the state of consciousness, Blue Lotus could provide access to the subconscious realm, allowing individuals to explore the hidden depths of their own psyche. Perhaps this is where it earned its moniker as the bringer of dreams. Building on this, consider how we might adapt elements of ancient Egyptian rituals and combine them with modern mindfulness techniques to enhance our spiritual growth and inner awareness. Can one combine breathwork with Blue Lotus ingestion to enhance mindfulness? Perhaps specific colors or scents can be used to achieve certain outcomes. Create your own personalized rituals, incorporating symbols, sounds, and intentions that resonate with your individual needs and goals. Use candles, incense, crystals, or other objects that have personal meaning. Practice mindful breathing, focusing on the sensation of each inhale and exhale. Visualize your intentions, holding them clearly in your mind's eye. Engage your senses fully, paying attention to the sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and textures of the present moment. Integrate these experiences into your daily life, carrying the insights and awareness gained during your rituals into your relationships, your work, and your creative pursuits. But consider Blue Lotus not merely as a tool for amplifying sensory experiences, but as a gateway between different dimensions or planes of existence. Is it possible that this sacred flower aided the Egyptian priests in traversing realities beyond ordinary perception, offering glimpses into realms unseen by the mundane eye? Perhaps the priests used the flower to achieve controlled out-of-body experiences, exploring the landscapes of the afterlife or communicating with celestial beings. The ancient Egyptians believed in a multi-layered universe, with gods, spirits, and souls inhabiting different planes of existence. Blue Lotus, with its ability to alter consciousness, may have been seen as a bridge between these realms, allowing priests to journey beyond the limitations of the physical body. Consider the effects of Blue Lotus on dream states. Could the plant have facilitated lucid dreaming, granting the priests conscious control over their nocturnal visions? Or perhaps it induced vivid out-of-body experiences, allowing them to explore the astral plane and gain insights into the mysteries of existence. The ancient Egyptians placed great importance on dreams, viewing them as messages from the gods or glimpses into the future. The Book of the Dead is filled with instructions for navigating the afterlife, suggesting that the Egyptians believed in the ability to consciously journey beyond the physical realm. Blue Lotus could have served as a key to unlocking these abilities, allowing priests to master their dreams and access hidden knowledge. The intent was not merely to escape reality, but to see or know something beyond the mundane, to gain wisdom and guidance from the divine. Extending our external symbolism versus internal experience pattern, consider the symbolic gateways depicted in Egyptian art and architecture. The elaborate temple entrances, adorned with towering pylons and intricate carvings, were not merely decorative. They were symbolic representations of the transition from the mundane world to the sacred realm. The narrow doorways and winding corridors of the temples were designed to create a sense of mystery and anticipation, guiding initiates on a journey of inner transformation. Just as the physical gateways led to the inner sanctum of the temple, the internal gateways of consciousness, unlocked by Blue Lotus, led to the inner sanctum of the soul. Perhaps these symbolic gateways were designed to mirror the internal experiences induced by the plant, creating a synergistic effect that amplified the transformative power of the rituals. However, the effects of Blue Lotus and the success of their rituals were inextricably linked to the ancient Egyptians' cosmological beliefs, with their worldview strengthening the impact of their mental state. How much did their conviction in the reality of the afterlife, the cyclical nature of time, and the interconnectedness of all things shape their experiences during altered states? Did their unwavering faith in the power of magic and the existence of gods amplify the plant's effects, turning their visions into profound spiritual revelations? Modern skepticism often dismisses such beliefs as mere superstition, attributing the effects of psychoactive substances to placebo or suggestibility. Yet the ancient Egyptians' worldview provided a powerful framework for interpreting and integrating their experiences, imbuing them with deeper meaning and significance. Imagine contrasting a purely scientific worldview with the ancient Egyptian beliefs. A modern scientist, ingesting Blue Lotus, might experience altered perceptions and psychological effects, but interpret them through the lens of neuroscience and biochemistry. They might analyze the plant's chemical compounds, measure its effects on brainwave activity, and attempt to correlate subjective experiences with objective data. An ancient Egyptian priest, on the other hand, would interpret the same experiences as encounters with gods, journeys through the underworld, or glimpses into the secrets of creation. Their belief system would provide a narrative framework for understanding and integrating these experiences, shaping their perceptions and imbuing them with spiritual significance. This is not to say that one worldview is superior to the other, but rather to highlight the profound impact of belief on the subjective experience of reality. But were these altered states merely a source of personal enlightenment, or did they grant the priests access to hidden knowledge about the nature of reality, the universe, and humanity's place within it? Did the priests' altered states grant them insights into the fundamental laws of the cosmos, the workings of the human mind, or the mysteries of life and death? And if so, what responsibilities came with such knowledge? Perhaps the priests believed that their knowledge came with the responsibility of maintaining balance and harmony in the cosmos, acting as intermediaries between the human and divine realms. Perhaps they saw themselves as guardians of ancient wisdom, tasked with preserving and transmitting it to future generations. Consider the possibility that this knowledge also came with the responsibility of maintaining balance and harmony in the cosmos, that the priests felt they had to preserve ancient wisdom for future generations. This challenges modern assumptions about seeking knowledge, where information is often viewed as a commodity to be acquired and exploited for personal gain. The ancient Egyptians may have seen knowledge as a sacred gift to be used for the benefit of all beings. Perhaps they believed that the misuse of knowledge could have catastrophic consequences, disrupting the delicate balance of the universe. This perspective raises profound ethical questions about the nature of knowledge and the responsibilities that come with its pursuit. For example, describe how the priests may have used their knowledge to guide the pharaoh, advise the community, or preserve ancient wisdom for future generations. Perhaps they used their insights into human psychology to counsel the pharaoh on matters of state, helping him to make wise decisions that would benefit his people. Or perhaps they used their knowledge of the cosmos to predict floods and famines, advising the community on how to prepare for natural disasters. The priests may have recorded their knowledge in sacred texts and inscriptions, preserving it for future generations who would be able to decipher its hidden meanings. This raises the stakes, as this knowledge would impact others beyond themselves. Elevating the tension, did the ancient Egyptians believe in spiritual warfare? And if so, how did the priests use Blue Lotus and ritual practices to defend against malevolent forces or protect sacred knowledge from falling into the wrong hands? Did they believe that unseen entities or negative energies could influence human affairs, and that it was their duty to protect their community from these forces? Perhaps they used Blue Lotus to strengthen their spiritual defenses, creating a protective shield around themselves and their temples. Raise the tension further by describing how these battles may have played out in the priests' minds or on other planes of existence, with vivid visions of cosmic battles and clashes between good and evil. It begs the question of whether they were battling actual forces or simply their inner demons. Perhaps these battles played out not on physical battlefields, but in the priests' minds or on other planes of existence, with vivid visions of cosmic struggles and clashes between good and evil. Blue Lotus may have been seen as a weapon in this spiritual warfare, strengthening their resolve and enhancing their ability to perceive and counteract negative influences. Draw parallels between these ancient beliefs and modern-day concepts of psychic self-defense or protection from negative energies, with techniques for visualizing shields of light, cutting energetic cords, and clearing negative attachments. This concept resonates with many modern spiritual seekers who believe in the reality of unseen forces and the importance of protecting oneself from negativity. However, we must now shift the focus from the ancient priests to the individual viewer. What does this all mean for us, here and now? The journey of spiritual exploration and self-discovery is a personal one, yet it is also connected to the collective consciousness of humanity. While the ancient priests served as intermediaries between the human and divine realms, today we are each called to become our own priests and priestesses, to take responsibility for our own spiritual growth, and to connect directly with the source of wisdom and power within. Unlike the ancient priests, we do not need to rely on external authorities or intermediaries. We have the power to access the same knowledge and experiences directly through our own inner exploration. Reinforce the idea that the individual can have a significant impact on the collective by transforming themselves. The inner work each individual does can contribute to a greater awakening of consciousness on the planet. Each act of self-awareness, each moment of compassion, each step towards personal growth ripples outwards, influencing the collective field of consciousness. Like individual notes blending to form a harmonious chord, our individual journeys of transformation contribute to a symphony of collective awakening. Consider that the ancient priests' rituals were not just for their own benefit, but for the well-being of the entire community. Our individual rituals, performed with intention and love, can similarly contribute to the collective good, raising the vibration of the planet and helping to create a more peaceful and harmonious world. This brings us to modern-day concepts of self-mastery and personal sovereignty. How can we link the ancient Egyptian practices to these ideas, empowering viewers to take control of their own spiritual development and reclaim their divine birthright? Personal sovereignty implies the recognition of one's inherent authority and autonomy, the ability to make conscious choices and to live in alignment with one's own values and beliefs. It means taking responsibility for one's thoughts, emotions, and actions, and refusing to be controlled by external forces or limiting beliefs. Drawing parallels between the ancient priest's pursuit of enlightenment and the modern individual's journey of self-discovery, we can see that both paths are ultimately about reclaiming our true nature and realizing our full potential. Connect these ideas to ancient Hermetic texts that emphasize the power of the individual to shape their reality through focused intention and understanding of universal principles. The Hermetic tradition, which is believed to have originated in ancient Egypt, teaches that we are all co-creators of our reality and that we have the power to manifest our desires through focused intention and alignment with universal laws. The principle of as above, so below suggests that the microcosm of the individual is a reflection of the macrocosm of the universe, and that by understanding ourselves, we can understand the universe. Emphasize that each person is their own temple, a sacred space where they can connect with the divine and manifest their highest potential. You are not beholden to an institution. But with such power comes great responsibility. As we conclude this section, let us reiterate the importance of responsible and ethical use of Blue Lotus and other entheogens. Intention, respect, and safety are paramount in exploring altered states of consciousness. These substances are not a shortcut to enlightenment, but rather tools that can be used to enhance our spiritual practice when approached with the right mindset and preparation. What does it truly take to responsibly proceed on this path? It requires a deep commitment to self-awareness, ethical conduct, and a willingness to integrate the insights gained into our daily lives. Let's provide a checklist of ethical considerations for using Blue Lotus, including sourcing, intention, and integration of experiences. Source Blue Lotus from reputable suppliers who prioritize sustainable harvesting practices and fair labor standards. Set a clear intention before using the plant, focusing on your desired outcome and aligning it with your highest values. Integrate your experiences into your daily life, reflecting on the insights gained and using them to inform your choices and actions. Remember that these substances are not a substitute for inner work, but rather a complement to it. By approaching Blue Lotus with respect, intention, and a deep understanding of its potential effects, we can unlock its transformative power and embark on a journey of self-discovery and spiritual growth. As we move forward, keep the message of personal responsibility and self-mastery foremost in your mind. With personal responsibility and self-mastery at the forefront, let's now delve into the practical techniques that amplified the effects of Blue Lotus for the Egyptian priests, creating a synergistic formula for altering consciousness. Were these rituals just a series of random actions, or were they meticulously designed to tap into specific neurophysiological pathways? The answer, as you might suspect, lies in the latter. The priests employed a trio of powerful techniques: breathwork, sound, and visualization, each strategically enhancing the effects of Blue Lotus, and collectively, they created a potent cocktail for accessing altered states. Consider, for example, alternate nostril breathing, known in yogic traditions as Nadi Shodhana Pranayama. This practice, involving the alternate closing of each nostril while inhaling and exhaling, is not merely a breathing exercise. It's a sophisticated method of manipulating the nervous system. By alternating the airflow through each nostril, the priests could have stimulated different hemispheres of the brain, harmonizing their activity and inducing a state of balanced awareness. Imagine the effect of combining this practice with the neurochemical effects of Blue Lotus. While the flower gently altered consciousness, the breathwork served as a rudder, guiding the mind towards specific states of focus and receptivity, creating the ideal conditions for profound spiritual experiences. How might regularly practicing such a technique change one's perception of reality? Sound, too, played a crucial role in the priest's rituals. Was it simply the euphonious sounds of music or chanting, or something much deeper? Specific mantras or tones, repeated rhythmically, could have synchronized brainwave patterns, inducing altered states of consciousness. Think of the ancient Egyptian use of the sistrum, a percussion instrument often associated with the goddess Hathor. Its rhythmic sound may have entrained the brainwaves of those present at the rituals, facilitating a collective shift in consciousness. Furthermore, the priests may have utilized specific vowel sounds or harmonic overtones, known for their ability to resonate with different energy centers in the body. Visualize the priests chanting in unison, their voices resonating within the temple walls, creating a sonic landscape that amplified the effects of Blue Lotus and transported them to other realms. The visualization techniques employed by the priests further focused their intent and shaped their experiences. The specific imagery and symbols they used were not arbitrary. They were carefully chosen to influence their subconscious minds and spiritual journeys. For instance, imagine the priests visualizing the unfolding lotus flower, its petals opening to reveal the radiant light of the sun god Ra. This image, repeated during meditation, may have triggered a cascade of associations in their minds, connecting them with themes of rebirth, enlightenment, and divine illumination. The Ankh, the Egyptian symbol of life, may have been visualized as a key unlocking the flow of vital energy within their bodies, promoting healing and vitality. The key is that each of these techniques reinforced the others, enhancing the overall effect exponentially. But how did these techniques allow the priests to connect with the divine? The ancient Egyptian pantheon was vast and complex, with each deity representing different aspects of reality and archetypal energies. The priests likely connected with specific deities or archetypes during their rituals, seeking guidance, protection, or empowerment. Was this connection merely a symbolic act, or did it have a tangible impact on their consciousness and experience? Consider the goddess Isis, often associated with magic, healing, and motherhood. The priests may have invoked Isis during rituals, seeking her wisdom and compassion. By connecting with the archetype of the nurturing mother, they may have tapped into their own innate capacity for love, empathy, and healing. Consider, too, the god Thoth, associated with wisdom, knowledge, and writing. The priests may have sought Thoth's guidance in deciphering ancient texts or understanding the mysteries of the universe. By connecting with the archetype of the wise teacher, they may have unlocked new insights and perspectives. These connections to archetypes likely influenced the priests' thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, shaping their understanding of themselves and the world around them. Furthermore, these practices would have reinforced the beliefs and social structures of ancient Egyptian society, solidifying the priests' roles as intermediaries between the human and divine realms. Each god has a complex story behind it. Now let's introduce the concept of alchemy and explore how the ancient Egyptian rituals can be viewed as alchemical processes designed to transform the priests' inner selves. Were these rituals merely religious ceremonies, or were they sophisticated methods of psychological and spiritual transformation? Alchemy, often misunderstood as the pursuit of turning lead into gold, is actually a metaphor for the transformation of the self, the transmutation of base emotions and limiting beliefs into higher states of consciousness. The ancient Egyptian rituals, with their symbolic actions, potent substances, and transformative intentions, can be seen as alchemical processes designed to purify, dissolve, and transmute the priest's inner being. Draw parallels between alchemical stages and the experiences the priests may have undergone. The Negrido, or blackening stage, represents the confrontation with the shadow self, the integration of repressed emotions and hidden aspects of the personality. During their rituals, the priests may have faced their own fears, doubts, and limiting beliefs, bringing them into the light of consciousness for healing and integration. Think of the purification rituals, where the priests cleansed themselves with water and incense, symbolizing the washing away of impurities and the release of negative energies. The albedo, or whitening stage, represents the purification of the soul, the attainment of clarity and wisdom. Blue Lotus may have played a catalytic role in this process, facilitating the release of emotional blockages and promoting a sense of inner peace. But the alchemical process doesn't stop there. It culminates in the rubedo, or reddening stage, representing the integration of all aspects of the self, the attainment of wholeness and enlightenment. The priests, having confronted their shadows and purified their souls, may have emerged from their rituals transformed, embodying the qualities of the deities they invoked and radiating divine light. Consider how this pursuit of inner gold may have impacted their outward actions. This inner transformation not only benefited the priests themselves, but also had a positive impact on their community, as they became more compassionate, wise, and effective leaders. The ancient Egyptian rituals were not just about personal enlightenment, they were about creating a more harmonious and just society. The journey inward extends into the realm of dreams, where the subconscious mind reveals its hidden landscapes. Was Blue Lotus simply a tool for inducing vivid dreams, or could it have been used to consciously explore the subconscious and integrate shadow aspects of the self? Dreamwork, the practice of interpreting and working with dreams, can be a powerful tool for self-discovery and personal growth. Blue Lotus, with its ability to enhance dream recall and lucidity, may have facilitated this process, allowing the priests to gain insights into their deepest fears, desires, and unresolved issues. Imagine the priests using dream incubation techniques, setting a clear intention before sleep and asking for guidance or healing in their dreams. By consciously directing their dreams, they could have explored different aspects of their subconscious minds, confronting their shadows and integrating them into their waking lives. Consider a modern method for shadow integration, such as journaling about recurring dreams or engaging in active imagination, where you enter into a dialogue with dream figures. The ancient Egyptians may have approached this process differently, perhaps through ritualistic enactments of their dreams or consultations with dream interpreters. Blue Lotus may have aided them in confronting and integrating their own hidden aspects, facilitating a more complete and balanced sense of self. This integration would then be reflected in their waking life, allowing them to act with greater authenticity and integrity. And what of the visual world? How did the ancient Egyptians use visual tools to amplify the effects of Blue Lotus on consciousness? Sacred geometry and mandalas, with their intricate patterns and symbolic meanings, may have served as visual anchors for the priest's spiritual experiences, creating a deeper and more profound sense of connection. The flower of life, a geometric pattern consisting of overlapping circles, was revered in ancient Egypt as a symbol of creation and the interconnectedness of all things. Perhaps the priests meditated on this pattern, allowing its intricate design to resonate with their minds and open them to new dimensions of awareness. Or consider the Egyptian mandalas, complex circular designs often found in tombs and temples, representing the cosmos and the journey of the soul. These patterns may have acted as codes, unlocking hidden potential within the brain. Imagine the effect of prolonged exposure to these visual stimuli, the brainwaves entraining to the geometric frequencies, creating a state of heightened awareness and receptivity. The patterns would then take on deeper meaning to the priests, especially when combined with the neurochemical effects of Blue Lotus. The flower of life may then be seen as a literal blueprint for consciousness. From a psychological perspective, sacred geometry and mandalas can serve as powerful tools for focusing attention, promoting relaxation, and stimulating creative insights. By incorporating these visual tools into their rituals, The ancient Egyptian priests may have amplified the transformative power of Blue Lotus, creating a truly immersive and multisensory experience. However, even with the most potent techniques and powerful substances, the success of these practices hinges on one crucial element: ethical intention. Was it simply about achieving altered states for personal pleasure or power, or was it about something far more profound? The ancient Egyptians believed in the importance of Ma'at, the principle of cosmic order, justice, and truth. Approaching these practices with the right intention and a strong sense of integrity was paramount. Seeking to harm others, manipulate situations, or gain personal advantage would likely lead to negative consequences, both for the individual and for the community. Imagine the kind of results one might expect when proceeding with ill intent. The altered states induced by Blue Lotus could amplify negative emotions and thought patterns, leading to paranoia, anxiety, or even destructive behavior. Contrast these results with those obtained through ethical practice. Approaching Blue Lotus with a clear, positive intention, such as seeking healing, wisdom, or connection with the divine, can lead to profound insights, emotional release, and a greater sense of purpose. The key lies in self-reflection and ethical decision-making. Before embarking on this path, it's essential to examine your motivations, clarify your values, and commit to using your experiences for the benefit of yourself and others. Cultivate gratitude, compassion, and a deep respect for the sacred nature of Blue Lotus and the ancient Egyptian traditions. And what of the future of this ancient wisdom? As we reach the culmination of this section, let us look forward to the revival of the ancient wisdom. How can we ensure that Blue Lotus is used responsibly and ethically, preserving its sacred nature for future generations? The key lies in education, awareness, and a deep understanding of its potential benefits and risks. Encourage others to learn more about the history, science, and spirituality of Blue Lotus. Promote responsible sourcing practices, ensuring that the plant is harvested sustainably and ethically. Remind viewers of the sacred aspect of this plant and its influence, the importance of self-reflection, ethical conduct, and the integration of insights gained into daily life. The future of Blue Lotus depends on our collective commitment to honoring its wisdom and using it for the greater good. Now, let us see how modern science can explain this ancient technology. Let's now turn our attention to the silent language of the ages, the hieroglyphs, and explore how Blue Lotus is not just a plant, but a linguistic key unlocking deeper meanings within ancient Egyptian texts. Did the Egyptians leave clues about the true purpose of these rituals hidden in plain sight? The answer, as always, is layered within symbols themselves. The Blue Lotus appears frequently in hieroglyphic texts and artistic depictions, often alongside deities or in scenes of ritualistic significance. Note its placement, the symbols that surround it, and even the related phonetic sounds, for these elements provide multiple avenues for interpreting its intended meaning. Imagine, for instance, a scene where the Blue Lotus is depicted near a deity associated with rebirth, such as Osiris. In this context, the flower could symbolize the potential for spiritual transformation and renewal, aligning with the neurochemical effects that facilitated altered states of consciousness. Consider, too, how the visual representation of the Blue Lotus itself may have been designed to evoke specific emotional or mental states in the viewer. Was it simply a decorative element or a deliberate attempt to trigger altered consciousness through visual means? The flower's symmetrical petals, radiating outwards from a central point, could have served as a visual mandala, focusing attention and promoting a sense of harmony and balance. The vibrant blue color may have been associated with the sky, the heavens, or the realm of the divine, further enhancing its spiritual significance. This symbolic language extends beyond mere decoration, representing a sophisticated form of visual encoding used by the ancient Egyptians to convey profound spiritual concepts. The flower was more than pretty, it was a code. Now let's journey into the heart of the Egyptian temple and witnessed the transformative journey of a priest undergoing initiation, where Blue Lotus played a strategic role at each stage, facilitating specific mental and spiritual shifts. Was the path to enlightenment a straightforward process, or a carefully orchestrated series of trials and revelations? Picture a hypothetical initiation ritual, beginning with a period of intense purification, both physical and mental. The initiate might undergo fasting, cleansing rituals, and periods of isolation to prepare their body and mind for the transformative experience ahead. Blue Lotus, perhaps consumed in a tea or elixir, could then be administered to gently open the doors of perception, easing the transition into altered states of consciousness. The next stage might involve a vision quest, where the initiate ventures into the desert or a secluded chamber within the temple, seeking direct communion with the divine. The heightened awareness induced by Blue Lotus, combined with the challenging conditions of the quest, could facilitate profound insights and revelations. Imagine the initiate confronting their deepest fears and insecurities, grappling with existential questions, and ultimately emerging with a renewed sense of purpose and connection to the cosmos. The final stage involves integration, where the initiate returns to the community and shares their newfound wisdom and understanding. Blue Lotus would have aided the priest in overcoming challenges to realize higher states of consciousness, but elevate the stakes by revealing the truth. Not all who began this journey completed it. Most priests never achieved the higher ranks, often falling short of the profound transformation they sought. However, for those that succeeded, the mysteries of time itself were within their grasp. Let's explore how the manipulation of time perception may have been a key element in these rituals, with Blue Lotus and other techniques used to induce a sense of timelessness. Did these adepts possess the secret to transcending linear time, accessing a state of awareness beyond the limitations of the clock? The use of repetitive chanting or drumming, for example, could have entrained the brainwaves of the participants, inducing altered states where time seemed to slow down, speed up, or even disappear altogether. Imagine the priests chanting in unison, their voices resonating within the temple walls, creating a hypnotic rhythm that dissolved the boundaries of past, present, and future. This sense of timelessness may have facilitated out-of-body experiences or consciousness projection practices, where the priests felt their awareness expanding beyond the confines of their physical bodies, exploring other realms of existence. Envision them floating above the temple, observing the world from a detached perspective, or traveling to distant lands in their astral bodies. The practices of these priests resonates with modern mindfulness, especially their ability to live in the now. By anchoring their awareness in the present moment, the priests may have tapped into a deeper sense of reality, unburdened by the anxieties of the future or the regrets of the past. This eternal now would be paradise. Now consider the anointing ritual and explore how the strategic application of Blue Lotus-infused oils to specific energy centers on the body may have further amplified its effects. Was this simply a symbolic gesture or a sophisticated method of activating and balancing the body's subtle energy system? Different types of oils, infused with Blue Lotus and other herbs, may have been used for different purposes, each with its own unique fragrance and psychoactive properties. Imagine the priest carefully applying these oils to specific points on the body, such as the third eye, the heart center, or the solar plexus, each corresponding to different aspects of consciousness and emotional well-being. The placement of these oils may have correlated to different desired mindsets, each working in concert. Anointing the third eye, for example, may have enhanced intuition, insight, and the ability to perceive subtle energies. Applying oil to the heart center may have promoted feelings of love, compassion, and connection. Furthermore, this ancient ritual has echoes in modern practices such as Reiki, where practitioners channel energy through their hands to promote healing and balance in the recipient. In a similar vein, the ancient Egyptian priests may have used the anointing ritual to activate and harmonize the energy centers within their own bodies and the bodies of others. a harmony of fragrance and energy. Let's not forget the power of sound and geometry. The ancient Egyptian priests, masters of subtle energies, understood how to use geometric harmonics to create sounds that enhanced the sensory experience and further amplified the effects of Blue Lotus. Was the design of their temples and rituals simply a matter of aesthetics, or a carefully calculated attempt to manipulate consciousness through sound and form? Consider how the construction of specific temples may have been directly linked to musical theory, with the dimensions and proportions of the building designed to resonate with specific frequencies. Imagine the effect of standing within one of these temples, the sound of chanting or music reverberating through the space, creating a multisensory experience that transported you to another realm. The very geometric forms themselves, such as the pyramid or the circle, may have played a crucial role in shaping the experience. Take the concept of cymatics, where sound vibrations are used to create intricate geometric patterns in matter. The ancient Egyptians may have understood this principle intuitively, using sound and form to create a harmonious environment that facilitated altered states of consciousness. These temples would be tuned like instruments. But in the pursuit of higher consciousness, there always exists the risk of stumbling into a false awakening, a spiritual deception that can lead even the most devoted astray. How did the priests protect themselves from malevolent forces during their altered states? Some priests may have been manipulated, especially when their guard was down and their perceptions altered. This manipulation may have taken the form of social manipulation scenarios, where they were subtly influenced to act against their own values or the best interests of their community. What guidance can be gleaned from this danger, and how can you protect yourself from spiritual deception during altered states? Vigilance and discernment. This may be an inherent risk in ritual practice, as the veils between worlds become thinner and the boundaries between the self and the other become blurred. The key lies in cultivating critical thinking, questioning your own perceptions, and seeking guidance from trusted sources. Before undergoing any spiritual practice, it's essential to establish clear boundaries and intentions, protecting yourself from unwanted influences. The wisest priests understood the importance of shadow work, confronting the inner demons. Let's reiterate and expand upon that theme, for it holds a vital key to understanding the true power of these ancient practices. Blue Lotus was not simply a tool for achieving blissful states. It was also a mirror, reflecting one's personal defects. These rituals may have been ultimately about achieving wholeness, integrating all aspects of the self, both light and shadow. Consider shadow work as a means of shining a light on your own unconscious patterns, repressed emotions, and limiting beliefs. A willingness to confront and integrate these aspects of yourself is essential for true spiritual growth. How might one engage in shadow integration? Start by keeping a journal, writing about your dreams, your fears, and your insecurities. Engage in active imagination, entering into a dialogue with your shadow self, asking it what it needs and what it has to teach you. By processing and integrating repressed emotions, beliefs, and experiences, you can unlock a greater sense of inner peace, authenticity, and power. Then, in contrast to ancient wisdom, what are the modern misconceptions? Let's challenge the common modern dismissal of altered states of consciousness and remind ourselves of the lost knowledge versus modern rediscovery pattern that weaves throughout this narrative. Has modern culture's tendency to devalue inner experience blinded us to the potential benefits of these ancient practices? Question whether modern individuals can fairly judge these practices without truly experiencing them firsthand. Highlight the scientific evidence supporting the potential therapeutic benefits of altered states, such as reduced anxiety, increased creativity, and enhanced spiritual well-being. Modern science is only beginning to scratch the surface of understanding the value of altered states. As we conclude, remember that it is not a tool to be feared, but a tool to be wielded responsibly. What is the ultimate key? In closing, let's consider the ethical dimensions of both ancient practices and modern applications. The ethical use of Blue Lotus calls for practitioners to embrace not only its potential for individual transformation, but also its potential to affect the world around them. True power lies not in the substance itself, but in the intention, integrity, and ethical framework of the practitioner. Remember that what was done in the temples of old can be relevant again, and with this comes the promise of individual transformation. What key takeaways can you apply to your life? Was Blue Lotus a mere symbol or something more? After journeying through the ancient temples, deciphering hieroglyphs, and exploring the plant's neurochemical properties, we arrive at a nuanced understanding. It was both. It was a symbolic key, carefully designed to unlock altered states of consciousness and facilitate spiritual experiences. Through Blue Lotus, the priests enhanced their sensory perception, amplified their intuition, and sought a profound connection to the divine. However, this was no random indulgence. The priests possessed specific goals, meticulously structured rituals, and pursued a specific, repeatable, and verifiable outcome: conscious contact with the divine. We've seen how ancient Egyptian rituals were far more sophisticated than commonly believed. They were a form of consciousness technology, a strategic manipulation of mental states validated, in part, by modern science. The priests weren't simply chanting words or performing actions. They were skilled psychologists, understanding the intricate interplay between mind, body, and environment. They knew how to leverage external symbols to trigger specific internal experiences. Hieroglyphs, therefore, weren't just pretty pictures. They were keys, unlocking hidden knowledge and dormant potential within the initiate's own mind. Similarly, anointing rituals, using Blue Lotus-infused oils, were not mere gestures, but sophisticated methods of activating and balancing the body's subtle energy system, a process intimately connected to internal energy flow. But knowledge of Blue Lotus and Egyptian rituals extends beyond specific plants and practices. They represent something far greater. A journey of consciousness, a spiritual evolution, a quest to understand the very nature of reality. Blue Lotus was but one tool in a vast arsenal, a means to unlock a potential that lies dormant within each of us. Altered states of consciousness, then, become not aberrations, but alternative pathways for experiencing and understanding reality. The wisdom of ancient Egypt isn't confined to the past. It's a cyclical rediscovery, a pattern of knowledge gained, lost, and now triumphantly regained. We are on an upswing, a renaissance of understanding where ancient insights are being validated by cutting-edge science. History is filled with such cycles, eras of enlightenment followed by periods of darkness, and now a new dawn. Your individual journey of spiritual exploration and self-discovery is not a solitary path. It is intrinsically linked to humanity's collective pursuit of understanding. As you grow, so does the collective consciousness, and vice versa. Each moment of clarity, each insight gained, ripples outwards, affecting the very fabric of reality. Ultimately, ritual practice, in all its forms, boils down to unlocking the fundamental nature of our reality, understanding the human experience, and achieving the ability to consciously participate in the evolution of the universe. It's an eternal quest, a dance between the known and the unknown, the seen and the unseen. While this knowledge may seem esoteric, shrouded in mystery and accessible only to a select few, the truth is far more liberating. The secrets are not hidden away in ancient texts or guarded by secret societies. They reside within you, waiting to be unlocked. Any serious researcher, with enough dedication and sincere desire, can access this profound knowledge. Yet wielding such knowledge comes with a significant responsibility. Intention, integrity, and unwavering respect are paramount when working with altered states of consciousness and ancient practices. To proceed unethically, without proper research or understanding, is to invite potential negative outcomes, a descent into delusion and self-deception. Let's maintain a balanced perspective. Blue Lotus and similar practices are tools, powerful tools, but tools nonetheless. They are facilitators of spiritual growth and self-discovery, not magical shortcuts to enlightenment or instant solutions to life's challenges. Ritual practice demands effort, discipline, and a willingness to confront your own inner demons. Results are not guaranteed, and the path is rarely linear. The true power resides not in the substance itself, but in your own intention, your inner work, and your unwavering commitment to personal transformation. You are not merely a vessel to be filled, but an active participant in your own evolution. Each of you contains the divine spark, a temple within, waiting to be awakened. As we conclude this exploration, new questions arise. What other ancient practices hold the key to unlocking human potential? How can we bridge the gap between science and spirituality to gain a deeper understanding of consciousness? What new understandings will arise as our research deepens and our perspectives evolve? The dialogue between science and spirituality is ongoing, a continuous dance of discovery. Different methodologies, diverse areas of expertise, all contribute to a richer, more complete picture. New scientific discoveries constantly challenge our assumptions, altering our understanding of reality itself. We invite you to share your own experiences, insights, and questions in the comments section below. What resonated most deeply with you? What questions do you have for future explorations? Let's foster a sense of community, a shared journey of learning and discovery. In future videos, we'll delve into other ancient practices, explore the potential of other psychoactive plants, and unlock the secrets of other esoteric traditions. Perhaps we'll embark on a series diving deep into the mysteries of sacred geometry or offer practical guided meditations to enhance your own spiritual practice. Embrace your own spiritual journey. Explore the potential of Blue Lotus and other ancient practices responsibly, with intention and respect. Take the first step towards transforming your life, towards unlocking your inner potential. And if you found this video informative and inspiring, remember to like, follow, and share it with others. Subscribe to our channel for more explorations into the mysteries of consciousness and the wisdom of the ancients. The knowledge is within. Unlock your inner